were talking yesterday about the streaks on the Mariners.
Now maybe they're on a good one.
Maybe
Hopefully they get a chance to prove that they are good. 5 games against California in 3 days coming up. 2 doubleheaders. So hang in there. Well, after falling behind 6-0 in the first inning, the M's rallied with 9 runs, 8 of them in the third, and beat Oakland today 9-6 in the Dome. Billy Swift, who allowed 6 runs in the first, picked up the win after pitching into the late innings and doing a pretty good job. Shut him out the rest of the way. Here we go. Alvin Davis says the score is 6-0. Will single right here. And that score is a hustling Phil Bradley around third, and it's 6-1 A's. In the third, Davis again, only this time he singles into right center field. Dwayne Murphy has it, but Phil Bradley walks in this time, and it's 6-3 Oakland. Big blow of the inning. Watch this one. Dave Henderson drives one deep out the center field wall. This one had a shot to get out. Murphy will play it right there, backed up by Davis. All right, here comes another couple of runs to score. It's 6-5, and then this hit by Bob Kearney up the middle will score Dave Henderson. We have a 6-6 tie. The Mariners get all they need. Al Cowens rips one right up the middle. That scores Jack Perconti and Spike Owen, and the Mariners go on to win this one. Here you see Jack's score, and you will see the score there at 9-6. Look at this one. California bombed Minnesota today 12-0. John Candelaria over from the Pirates got the win of that one. It was Toronto over Kansas City 5-3. The Baltimore-Texas game is in progress. We'll have a score on that later tonight. New York beat Boston 5-3. Cleveland topped Detroit 7-2. And Chicago over Milwaukee 4-1. In the National League, Phillies beat St. Louis 4-1. The Mets beat Chicago 6-2. Houston down San Diego 7-2. It was Montreal over the Pirates. The Dodgers down Cincinnati, shut them out 4-0. Atlanta 7-4 over San Francisco. It was Medford downing Everett today by a score of 10-5, and Tucson all over Port Tacoma by a score of 16-5. Well, you got to see one of the great catches of the year. Chet Lemon last night in Cleveland. Take a look here. As you will see, the bases are loaded with Indians. And up steps George Vukovich. And Walt Terrell is the pitcher. Boom, the ball is going. Terrell just drops his arm and says, "A grand slam home run. Watch Lemon." Over the wall and pulls it down. Vukovich has got to be having nightmares. Yep, they do get the sacrifice fly, and one does score. But Vukovich is talking to himself, going back to the dugout. Little different angle on this. Watch Chester Lemon up over the fence. That's a home run, folks. Nice catch by Chet Lemon. And George Vukovich, as I said, is talking to himself. I've done that. Now, for those of you who missed the Seahawks game yesterday and the highlights last night, here's a look at the 19-7 loss to Indianapolis. Hardly any of the regulars played. Some did early, but not very many in the late going. Watch here. Watch Jacob Green and Jeff Bryant corral Art Schleister. The ball's knocked away. Watch Ken Easley. One-handed scoop. How many guys can do that? Easley's one of them. Into the end zone for the score. And the Seahawks have a 7-0 lead. Another good defensive play coming up right here. The ball is shaken loose from the Colts back by Fred Young and his tackle right there. Pretty much the rest of it belongs to Indianapolis on the night. Frank Sire will get this ball batted away by one of the defensive linemen. Chris Scott will make the catch. And that sets up a score by Indianapolis. All right, Mike Pagel is next. Watch Mike go back, and he will hit Robbie Martin. Robbie's got some speed. He gets into the end zone. The Colts take a 12-7 lead. Now Sire comes right back and tries it again, but this time, same result. The ball is picked off again, this time by Ricky Smith, and on the very same drive, that leads to another score. It'll be Mike Brooks this time with a run for the touchdown. The Colts win it 19-7, and Coach Knox had these comments.
I thought there was a lot of effort out there on both sides, and you got to give the Colts credit. They came from behind and won the football game. We looked at an awful lot of people and held a lot of players out of this particular game.
A lot of good football coming up, including the Lions in the Dome next Friday night. Well, let's switch to golf. The Cherry Hills Golf Classic turned into some match today. Hubie Green winning by a single stroke over Lee Trevino. On the 9th hole, these two really battle it out. Watch this shot by Trevino, his second shot, and watch where it lands right up next to the cup. And you can't do it better than Trevino did on that one. Look how close he is. Now, I said they battled. Watch Green. Same shot, same hole. Here we go. Second shot by Green. He says, all right, we'll match it. Shot for shot. Look where he is. Now, both of them birdied that hole. Then Freddie Couples, who had a good round in this one, came up and watched this putt by Fred Couples. He finished down the leaderboard a ways. He won $17,500 for his efforts. There is Freddie Couples. Nice putt by Fred. Here is Green on the 18th, just before the rains poured down, in the trap and out of the trap, and watch him hit the pin here. The ball slows down, and he gets birdie on that next one and wins it today by one stroke over Lee Trevino. Here's a quick look at this morning's Bellevue Triathlon, won by Tom Price with the men in a record time of 2 hours, 58 minutes, and 10 seconds. Tom is from Issaquah. Bob White of Seattle was second. For the women, Zena Herman was first in a time of 3 hours and 25 minutes and 7 seconds. Ann Harrison was second. Both Herman and Harrison are from Seattle. A couple other notes. The Longacres Derby is complete. Protect Yourself was first. Polynesian Flyer was second. Ono Gummo was third. In tennis, John McEnroe beat Yvonne Lendl at the Volvo tennis match in Vermont, and Chris Everett Lloyd beat Claudia Kotic-Kilch in Toronto this afternoon. We'll have highlights of the Longacres Derby coming up tonight at 11 o'clock.
Looking forward.
And much, much more. We'll find more.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Run off their relief ace, Donnie Moore. And that game is all tied at 5, the first one at the Dome. That set the stage. Bottom of the ninth. Phil Bradley will win it with that swing. You should have heard Dave Niehaus screaming. It's 6-5. The M's win it. Nice going. Now for the story of tonight's second game. Let's go to Gary Spinnell, who is working late and live at the Kingdom. Gary, tell me the M's are winning. Come on, tell me that.
Well, wait, I wish I could. They're behind 4-3. Let me quickly recap the scoring. And first of all, you mentioned Dave Niehaus, who said, my, oh, my, a lot of times at the first game. He said it a lot of times this one. Couple of home runs in this one. Brian Downings in the fourth put the Angels ahead 4-2. Gorman made it 4-3 with a home run of his own in the fifth inning. Right now, the Mariners in the seventh trail by a 4-3 count. But Gorman Thomas is up. Jack Percotti's on third. So we may have the tying run coming in here and tie this one at 4-4. Earlier in the game, probably the highlight of the game, at least for the fans, and if we could roll the tape, we'll show you some of it. Eddie Vandenberg on the mound. Watch him here. He's looking at Rod Carew because he threw a little pitch that got a little close, and all of a sudden both benches clear, as you will see right there. The ball didn't get that close to Rod Carew. He just kind of blew up and waited for some of his teammates before he got any closer to Vandenberg. Vandenberg's about half of his size. But as you see, they kind of go at it, a little pushing and shoving. It's a typical baseball fight. Nobody really got hurt. The big surprise of the whole thing was that Phil Regan got thrown out of the game because he was protesting the fact that the crew got to stay in the ball game when he was really the instigator and the cause of the whole thing. So that's pretty much where we are in the second game. Gorman has hit a home run. Brian Downing has hit a home run. It's 4-3 in the seventh inning, the tying run on third base.
Gary, I'm going to stall for just a second and ask you if they got an official count on the attendance.
No, I haven't had a time to check it, Wayne. We've been putting the sports show together, but it has been a dandy crowd. It's so many people. It's going to take them a while to, I think, put it together because so many people have come in and gone out. I mean, when I was here earlier tonight, a lot of people going in, coming out. Same way tonight when I got here late, so it's been that kind of a crowd. So we'll have to wait. We'll have it for you tomorrow.
You got it. Thank you, Gary, very much. So
okay.
The M's trail it right now, but maybe they'll wrap up.
Summit on Capitol Hill.
Introducing Plaisir, the everyday French cheese. With all natural Plaisir, you can work wonders every day. Wonderful Sunday omelets. Wonderful Monday casseroles. Wonderful Tuesday Plaisir burgers. Wonderful Wednesday salads. And you don't have to cut corners to enjoy Plaisir anytime. In 4 wonderful flavors, Plaisir, the everyday French cheese.
Tomorrow, every second means extra savings, because tomorrow, Silo stays open for 11 hours and 11 hours only for very special savings. You'll save on a Samsung microwave oven only $99. A deluxe 13-inch portable color television just $149. A Technics tape deck with Dolby only $69. Don't miss Silo's 11-hour sale tomorrow, 10 to 9, even if you have to make the time.
When you paint, the last thing you want is to paint again for a long, long time. All new Ernst Premium Interior and Exterior paints mean you won't have to. Super durable, easy to apply in over 1,000 custom colors. 5-year premium, 10-year premium, and our best with a 15-year warranty and double your money-back guarantee. So superior, if you use it now, you won't have to paint again till 2001. Ernst Premium Paint Introductory Sale on now.
The Audi 4000 S Quattro with permanent all-wheel drive handles like it's riding on rails.
Well, Wayne is down at the Kingdom tonight with the Seahawks, a happy bunch. After not scoring until the third quarter tonight, the Hawks broke loose in the third and fourth period and beat Detroit tonight. Listen to this score after not scoring now, 28-3. Take a look at the highlights tonight. Randall Morris gets the ball. They call the guy too hot to handle Randall, and number 43 shows why. Breaks a tackle there. He gets into the end zone right here, and the Hawks lead 7-3. That's their first touchdown of the year. Into the fourth quarter, Jimmy Zorn who looked great tonight, is on the money right here to Byron Bones Walker. The Hawks have a 14-3 lead. That's not enough for Jim, who hits former Husky Danny Green right there on the numbers. Number 84, Sam McCullum's old number, makes it 20-3. Now watch here. Steve Morgan, the rookie, will take the ball from Zorn. He dances into the end zone, and the final score tonight, 28-3. The Seahawks have come up with their first win in exhibition play. We'll have post-game interviews and more highlights tomorrow on the 5 o'clock news. We're a little bit early because of the Dallas Cowboy-San Diego Charger game tomorrow. While the Hawks were taking care of the Lions in the Dome tonight, the other football team in Seattle, the Huskies, have been highly ranked by a national magazine. This week's issue of Sports Illustrated ranks the Huskies the #1 team in the country. Don James, who is out at freshman practice today, likes the idea of calling the best and the #1 by Sports Illustrated.
Well, it's a compliment. There's no question about it. It's about 6 months too late, and we'd like to have had it early January, but like I say, it's kind of an honor. It'll probably make a bigger target on our backs for our opponents, but we're going to try and also take it as a motivational device and see if we can use it. First of all, you have to compliment the players because it's based on what they've done and the returning players. They're the ones that are getting the recognition out of it. It's kind of a nice honor for the coaches too, and I feel pleased for our staff. But again, the fact that we've got to recognize that if we're going to try and even think about being #1, we've got a lot of work to do.
By the way, tomorrow the Huskies find themselves on display. It is picture day for the Huskies as all the upperclassmen report in. They begin a full team practice on Monday. Should be a great season for them also. Meanwhile, Minnesota tonight, baseball. The Mariners scored 3 runs in the 8th inning and broke up a 3-all tie and beat the Twins. That final score 6-5. We pick up the highlights right here. M's tie it at 3-all in the 6th. Gorman Thomas sends a long fly ball. Tom Brunansky's got it, throws it back in, but Jack Perconti tags up and scores, and it's 3-2 Twins here. Al Cowanson rips his shot to third. Gary Gaetti to Timmy Tuffle at second. Cowens will beat the play, and that scores another run right here. Bill Bradley makes it 3-3. Watch here into the 8th. Here come the 3 runs. Gorman Thomas with a single into the gap. That will score Alvin Davis. It's 4-3 Mariners. Watch Jimmy Presley off-field double. That's going to get in down the line. Brunansky feels this one off of the wall. Gorman Thomas scores. It's 5-3 M's. And here is the winner. A wild pitch all the way to the backstop by Ron Davis of the Twins. Al Cowan scores, and it's 6-5 is the final tonight. Well, the Angels, they keep pace with the entire league and move up on some teams. They beat Oakland tonight 5-2. Milwaukee down the Sox 3-2. It was Kansas City over Toronto 4-2. And the Yankees pick up a game now and trail Toronto by only 6 now in the American League East. They beat Boston 5-4. It was Baltimore, a 4-2 winner over Texas. It was Detroit, a 3-2 winner over Cleveland. In the National, Pirates finally win a game. They beat the league leaders, the Mets, 7-1. St. Louis now moves into first place with a win over Montreal. It was the Cubs over the Phillies 6-5. The Dodgers down San Francisco 5-1. San Diego over Atlanta 6-3. And Houston topped Cincinnati by a score of 5-4. And then fast-pitch softball tonight. Pan-Pac won, and the other team nothing. I'm not really sure who they played. Pan-Pac called me and said, hey, we won again. And I was so worried about getting the Seahawks highlights on, I didn't get who they played. But they won, so if you're a Pan-Pac fan, you know who they beat.
Maybe they'll call you in a few hours at home to give you the right information.
If they hear this, they will. I'm just a sports hotline that rings right by his bed. I'm there 24 hours a day.
Thanks, Gary. Harry, what do we have in store?
Well, it's going to be hot again tomorrow. I don't know how Gary feels about the heat. You and I have talked about this, Susan, and you kind of like the heat better than I do. How do you feel about it?
My maiden voice.
You did great. Let's get that coffee.
Only half a cup.
Well, you love a hearty coffee.
The caffeine.
Look.
Brim, decaffeinated coffee.
Dark roast from Brim. This Brim's got a deep flavor that really speaks to you.
Speaks to me. If it tastes this rich, fill it to the rim.
Fill your cup to the rim with a hearty taste of dark roast from Brim, also in regular roast.
Introducing Plaisir, the everyday French cheese. With all natural Plaisir, you can work wonders every day. Wonderful Sunday omelets. Wonderful Monday casseroles. Wonderful Tuesday Plaisir burgers. Wonderful Wednesday salads. And you don't have to cut corners to enjoy Plaisir anytime. In 4 wonderful flavors, Plaisir, the everyday French cheese.
Today, my friends, a new and delicious surprise awaits you at the beautiful Casa Lupita. Presenting Fajitas Lupita, the Mexican feast that you create. Start with choice sauteed chicken or steak, add sour cream, zesty salsa fresca, guacamole and cheddar cheese. Then wrap it all together in a warm tortilla. Ah, Fajitas Lupita at Casa Lupita, where dining is a feast for all your senses.
Tomorrow, I'm moving into my new home. After talking to a lot of banks, I figured I was going to spend the rest of my life with one wife, 2 children, 3 gerbils, and 1 bathroom. Then my realtor introduced me to some very sharp loan people at University Federal Savings Bank. I got a loan, a darn good loan. I got it fast, with no hassle and no surprises. I did it, and you can do it too, with a little help from University Federal Savings.
A little bit of early morning Mariners today.
Yeah, earlier, I came in, checked the wire, and the ball game was over. I thought it was an 11 o'clock game. The game was over. Beginning with the Mariners, who lost in Minnesota this morning. Game started about 9 o'clock. The final 2-0. Bert Blyleven pitched one of his great games, a 3-hitter for his 12th win of the year. Kent Herbeck supplied all the runs that Minnesota needed. The M's wrap up their 4-game road trip tomorrow in Minnesota. By the way, Herbeck hit a 2-run homer. We switch to the American League East race, where things are really heating up there. The Yankees are making their move on Toronto. The Yankees beat Boston today. Kansas City beat Toronto. The Jays lead now cut to 5 games in the American League East. Here we go. That is Willie Wilson slapping one to left field. That will score Frank White right here. And the Royals take a 3-2 lead in the game. Lonnie Smith shaves his bat right in half. That has happened so much this year. Watch the ball dunk in here in front of Lloyd Mosby in center field. Gary Allenson will eventually get the ball in his glove, but drop it. And the Royals go on and win it by a score of 4-2 to New York, the Big Apple, where Don Mattingly also dunks one in right here. Bloop single. That scores Bobby Meacham. The Yankees are on their way to a win after this long triple up against that blue wall in Yankee Stadium out by the Monuments. 2 score, Mattingly and Willie Randolph, and the Yankees are on their way. Here's the defensive gem of the game. Steve Lyons rips one at Mattingly. He pulls it down. The Yankees go on to win it today, as you will see all the scores. Seattle beaten by Minnesota 2-0. California with Reggie Jackson hitting his 522nd home run of the year tonight. Powered California over Oakland. Chicago down Milwaukee 12-7. There's the Kansas City-Toronto score. Royals 4, Toronto 2. It was New York 3 and Boston 1. Baltimore down Texas 9-2. That's 5 straight for the Birds. And tonight, Detroit 7 and Cleveland 5. Well, the Mets won. The Cards lost. What does that mean? The two are tied for the National League East lead now. This may be the longest homer of the year so far. Watch Darryl Strawberry tee off. This guy's watching. Watch here. It is going. I can't hit a golf ball this far. Look at that's the 400 sign, and hit way up there 470 feet. They measured it. This guy, Tom Paciorek, who has to have a dozen lives in the big leagues, he hits a triple, drives in a couple of more, and the Mets go on and beat Pittsburgh 4-3. And there you see that score. Montreal down the Cards, so they're tied. The Mets and the Cards 5-4 their score. Phillies down Chicago today 10-4. San Francisco over the Dodgers by a score of 5-2. And Cincinnati shut out Houston. That score 8-0. Well, yeah, it is preseason, but a great game tonight on CBS. Dallas beat San Diego in sudden death overtime 27-24. San Diego will strike first. Watch here. The blitz is on Dan Fouts. But Dan, he's got to be the coolest customer in the NFL. Watch this. He gets out of this, throws the ball, and there's Eric Sievers in the end zone. It's 7-0 San Diego. Dallas comes right back. Daddy White back. He finds Fred Cornwell, the tight end. It's 7-all. Third quarter, Gary Hogamoon gets the ball to Newsom. Somebody blew a coverage here, 14-7. The Pokes are on top. Here's one of my favorite plays of the game. Watch Vernon Maxwell put the cruncher on Norm Granger. Oh, ball goes to the ground. Watch Mike Green. He comes by, picks it up. Green is just kind of dawdling downfield. Now, he's not real sure he's got a touchdown, but the fans know it. The referees say, yep, touchdown. It's 14-all. Then San Diego takes a 24-17 lead as Bruce Matheson hits Sievers. Here's my favorite play of the game. Watch this one. Hogamoon passes into the end zone. Look at Duriel Harris. Great catch by Duriel, number 86. It's 24-all. Here's the winner, Rafael Septien, 48 yards out through the uprights, and the Dallas Cowboys beat San Diego. Back home we come. Yesterday, Sports Illustrated said Don James' football team is the #1 team in the nation. A lot of folks heard that, and a lot of folks know these guys, and they were out taking pictures today on Picture Day. Today, the annual Picture Day for the Huskies. Monday, however, it's get down to proven. They're the #1 team in the nation when all the seniors, juniors, freshmen, what have you, all report for the first big practice. There's Hugh Millen, who will be the starting quarterback this year. On to horse racing, where Chief's Crown was the winner of the 116th running of the Travers Stakes in New York City today. Here's the stretch call. Chief's Crown on the outside. Angel Cardero in the pretty silks coming down the side here. He's getting in front right there. Chief's Crown finishes 2 lengths ahead of Turcoman with Skip Trial third and Stefan's Odyssey fourth, running just out of the money. There you see Angel Cardero on top of his horse. Well, we've talked a lot about golf this week in the Seattle Symphony Classic. This is Let's Make a Deal. Mr. Let's Make a Deal, Monty Hall. He was out making a deal today for the Seattle Symphony, raising money. He and this guy, Jack Lemmon, donated $5,000. That's the money they were to get for coming in today to put on the benefit. And they picked up the money and gave it right back to the Seattle Symphony. Those two guys, along with Tom Watson and Peter Jacobson, played in the Seattle Symphony Classic today out at Inglemoor. By the way, we'll have a special on it tomorrow, a half-hour special for you golf fans at 5:30. Finally, in softball tonight, the Pay and Pack softball team beat Decatur 5-4 to advance to the championship round of the International Softball Congress World Tournament. I think I got that right. Jimmy Moore won his 45th game of the year of the tournament. By the way, is in Wisconsin. And one other note, the guy who will play shortstop next year for the Mariners, Danny Tartable, about 23-year-old kid, if you haven't heard of him, hit 3 2-run home runs tonight. 3 2-run home runs, his 35th, 36th, 37th. And Calgary beat Edmonton 8-7 tonight. 3 2-run home runs. This kid's a good hitter, without a doubt.
Understatement.
And he's a shortstop. And, you know, that's the Alan Trammell, Cal Ripken type shortstop with power. He'll play shortstop here next year.
Great future.
Yeah, you betcha. I'd like to have it.
You got a great pass. You have to be satisfied
That's
with
right.
that.
Yeah, you can't have everything.
Folger's delicious Mountain Road flavor. Outstanding. The pleasure of Folgers. Now decaffeinated. Imagine that.
If you love a kid who loves peanut butter, you ought to know about the difference. The peanuttier difference in Jif.
The difference is Jif's peanuttier taste that says, glad you belong to me. It's the only way to start their day with that taste more peanutty. It's the difference, the taste that makes the difference. The peanutty difference in Jif.
When it comes to these little ones, I could never be too choosy. So I tried all the big brands and found Jif tastes more like fresh roasted peanuts, bursting with that just cracked open peanutty taste. What a difference.
It's the difference, the taste that makes the difference. The peanutty difference in Jif. We've got touch on CBS.
When they asked me to do the show, I was a little hesitant.
Each week, George Burns presents an original comedy with new and unusual characters.
I said, what if the show is no good? They said, that's never stopped you before.
Coming this fall,
I said, you're right.
the George Burns Comedy Week.
How much am I getting paid?
I'm Antoinette Russell for Cairo Community Guide. You can get a free health test and screening on August 24th at the CMAR Health Fair. Also, if you know someone who is concerned about eating disorders, Eastside Mental Health will have more information on the issue at a workshop on August 22nd. That's it for now on Cairo Community Guide.
Mariners on their way home from Minnesota.
You betcha, and split the series, and nothing wrong with that, boy. Play 500 ball on the road. Mariners do split the 4-game series in Minnesota, beating the Twins today 7-2 as Mark Langston pitched a 4-hitter. It wasn't a pretty 4-hitter, but they'll sure take it. Watch here. This starts the scoring. Second inning, Spike Owen gets one past Timmy Tuffle right there. The ball's into center field. Jimmy Presley and Alvin Davis score. It's 2-0. They get another when Presley then singles right here. Gets it in between the outfielder and the shortstop. That scores another, Alvin Davis, and the Mariners have a 3-0 lead. Now, as Presley is out at second base, by the way, M's in the fourth. Well, another one here. Watch Bill Brett. Nothing was hit real hard in this ball game, but Spike Owen scores 4-0 M's. And this is the big one, the big blow of the game, all the way to the wall. Gorman Thomas with a double, and Bradley and Collins will come in to score. It is 6-0. And the final run right here, lazy sacrifice fly off the bat of Jimmy Presley, but Gorman Thomas will just walk casually in, and that is the 7th Mariner run against 2 for the Twins. Well, that other race in the American League. The East is really tight. The Yankees, who have will be coming to town next week, remain 5 games behind Toronto as both clubs won today. Here is that game, and the first run of the game scored by the Yankees. Don Baylor will do it on a base hit right here. It is 1-0 New York over Boston. Now the catch of the day. Watch here. Billy Sample will make a stupendous running catch right here in left field and gets the ball back in. Doesn't double the guy out, but it's a great catch. More good defense coming up right here. Wade Boggs lines one into left field. That will score 1, but watch the throw from Sample on the money to catcher Ron Hasse. You, brother Rich Gedman, are out of there. Yanks go on and win it 4-2. Blue Jays beat Kansas City on home runs. George Bell finds a cease right here. That one, no question about it. And the Jays go up on top, and then Willie Upshaw, he later hit one. The final here, 10-6, as Toronto beats Kansas City. We'll check all the American League scores. Here's the Seattle score over Minnesota. California beaten by Oakland, so the M's pick up a game. It was Chicago over Milwaukee 8-4. There's the Toronto-Kansas City score, as is the Boston-New York score. Texas-Baltimore got rain out today, and Detroit topped Cleveland, shut them out, as a matter of fact, 4-0. Now in the tight National League East race, both teams won yesterday, both lost today. The Mets and the Cards remain tied for that lead. In the Pirates game, it was all this guy. Boom, Bill Madlock hit 2 long home runs, and the Pirates went on to win it by a score of 5-0. Here's the second one. Madlock really gets this one and drives it deep to left center field. As I said, the Pirates beat the Mets today 5-0, and the Cardinals were also beat today by Montreal 6-5. Here are both of those scores, and we'll move on if we can. Philadelphia over Chicago 9-5. San Francisco, second day in a row, they beat the Dodgers 2-1 and 10. It was San Diego over Atlanta, and Cincinnati-Houston. That game is in progress. Out at Evergreen Speedway in Monroe, things are really hopping today, to say the least. It was the Winston Grand National NASCAR race. Bill Elliott, certainly the favorite to win this one. He had to drop out on the 121st lap. Watch these guys perform the pit stop. It is changing of the tires and gasoline in about 13 seconds. The winner today, as you see him go racing, Derek Cope, first over the 500 laps, followed by 57-year-old Herschel McGriff of Oregon. McGriff was 2 car lengths back. These are not them here, but this is Cope earlier in the race in the red, blue, and white car racing the California Cooler car around the corner, but Cope eventually wins the race. Ruben Garcia was 3rd, Portland's Don Waterman 4th. There were minor accidents galore on this course, 11 caution flags. Once again, Derek Cope there, you see him running 2nd, came on and won the race. We'll switch quickly to golf, where Amy Alcott won the World Championship of Women's Golf this afternoon in sudden death over Patty Sheehan. Watch here. First sudden death hole, Alcott sinks a birdie putt. But now watch Sheehan. She comes up and does same. Sinks the birdie putt on 16. The second sudden death hole is where Alcott wins it, a par 3, 172-yard hole. And watch where she puts the ball right on the green. You can't do it better. That's Amy Alcott. That leaves her with a short putt, which she drops into the hole right here. And Amy Alcott wins the LPGA World Championship of Women's Golf today. John McEnroe beat Yvonne Lendl. Both these guys argued with the referees all day, but McEnroe won 7-5, 6-3, and Ken Green won the PGA stop in Michigan today to wrap up the day in sports.
I think the referees probably draw straws for that match, and whoever loses gets to officiate.
So much guff off those two guys. I would say, hey, get back over there and play tennis, or you're out of here. Can they do that in tennis? Can you get kicked out of the match? I'm not sure.
You get fined and everything.
Yeah, well,
suspended.
Do that. I wish somebody would do it.
Yeah, but they draw a lot of money.
I feel sorry for the refs. They didn't have to put up with that. It was just brutal today.
You put up with me.
I feel strongly about this. I feel strongly about you, too. And I told the news director, and he hasn't done anything about it.
Quiet. When we come back, I'll look at our changing fortunes in the weather department, speaking of fortunes, and Dennis Cunningham with a few kind words about an intense movie.
Weekend, I didn't go down the river in a barrel. I didn't catch a salmon. I didn't build a sandcastle on Alakai. Yeah, kind of a dull guy.
You were working on sports all that time.
Right. We've got a whole lot of sports, including volleyball down at the Kingdome. We normally don't lead with that, but boy, we got it tonight. We've got good news on the Mariners, good news on Pan Pac. Come on back. We got this sports galore.
No matter how bad the bugs, we'll make your problems go away. Terminix. No more bugs, no more worries.
Bob Bishop,
pilot of the world's smallest jet, the Coors Light Silver Bullet. Coors Light, the right light one. The Silver Bullet. Coors Light Beer.
If you think a Kiwi's an odd bird from New Zealand, you'd be right, mate.
It's a little bit shy, sometimes bold. It'll warm your heart, and you'll be sold when you see a Kiwi smile. New Zealand smile.
Catch a Kiwi smile from just $849 round trip, flying the foreign airline voted the world's best, Air New Zealand.
It's tough to start something new without a plan. When we started the Cairo Evening News last fall, we had a plan. Our plan was to give you the best half-hour newscast in the Puget Sound area. We started by listening to you. You said that you didn't want a rehash of the 5 o'clock news. So, you don't get warmed up leftovers from us. What you do get is a fresh look at the day's news. Every night. It's part of our plan.
The Cairo Evening News with Gary Justice, weeknights at 6:30. The Newlywed Game is back.
I can't believe you. I can't.
You always say I'm fly.
You could be chosen to play in a live Newlywed Game and meet host Bob Eubanks in person at the Aurora, Factoria, and Renton malls, September 20th through the 22nd. Sign up now at any of the 3 malls or write Cairo TV, Post Office Box 61025, Seattle, Washington 98121. The Newlywed Game, weeknights at 7, beginning September 16th on Cairo TV.
Kind of a sports summit in the kingdom.
A sports summit, yeah. And it wasn't very close, really. We'll talk about it. And I guess it isn't often that we lead the sports with volleyball, but tonight's match at the Kingdom is certainly worth it all. The match between the United States national team and the Soviet Union. Soviet Union is in red as we pick it up right here. The U.S. in black. The score tonight, 3-0 USA. The team of the U.S. led by U.S. Olympic gold medalist Steve Timmons, Craig Buck, and Pat Powers. The winning scores in the 3-0 shutout. Not close, as you will hear about the scores. 15-3, 17-15, and 15-8. Great turnout for tonight's game. 14,138. That is the largest crowd ever to watch the Americans play volleyball in this country. So a great turnout tonight down at the Kingdom. And by the way, next Sunday at 5 in the afternoon, we'll have a special on that exact match. Next Sunday at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. More great news about Pan Pac softball team tonight. Pan Pac won the World Tournament tonight, 1-0 over Decatur, Illinois. The only run of the game came on a solo home run by Bruce Beard. 5 players from the Pac team made the all-world team. That's based on their performance in the tournament. They'll be back tomorrow, coming in from Minneapolis on an airplane if you'd like to meet them. I'm not sure which one. They're supposed to call us and let us know. We'll try to let you know. News also good concerning the Mariners, who return home with a 7-2 win over Minnesota. They gain a split in that 4-game series with the Twins, 2 games apiece. Take a look at the highlights. The first couple of runs scored in the second inning. Spike Owen hits a ball that gets by Timmy Tuffle right there, and that scores a couple, Jimmy Presley and Alvin Davis, and it's 2-0. They get another right here when Jimmy Presley gets one right off the handle of the old bat. It dunks in there and ahead of Kirby Puckett. Alvin Davis scores. Jimmy Presley, though, tries to get into second base. He's a dead duck. All right, Mariners lead now 3-0. Then they get 4 in the 7th. Bill Bradley, base hit. That will score Spike Owen, and it's 4-0 M's. Here's the big blow of the inning. Gorman Thomas hits a ring and double. This is going to be off the wall. Bradley and Cowens will score, and they make it 6-0. Phil says, come on, Al, you can get in here too. Final run comes right here. Presley, sac fly to center field. Kirby Puckett's got it, but Gorman Thomas, no problem, trots on home, and the Mariners go on to win it today by a score of 7-2. The Yankees, who come to town in about a week, remain 5 games behind Toronto as both clubs won today. Here's the Yankee highlights in defense and pitching, and they got it all today. There's a base hit, and the Yankees take a 1-zip lead as Donnie Baylor scores. Now watch here. Marty Barrett is up. He'll hit a line drive to left field. Watch Billy Sample. Off the grass, slides, throws back into second base. The runner gets back, but what a great catch by Billy Sample. More good defense here. Wade Boggs is the hitter. He drives in a run here, but watch Sample comes up throwing, and watch the ball right on the money to Ron Hesse. And believe me, Rich Gedman, you're out of there. 4-2 is the score. The Yankees win. Here's George Bell. He hit a home run today for Toronto. That ball, no question about it, that one's in the seats as the Jays go on and beat Kansas City, thanks in part to this home run by Willie Upshaw. The final score today, 10-6. We'll check all the scores now if we can. Seattle right on top, Minnesota 7-2. It was California losing to Oakland, so the M's pick up a full game on the Angels. It was Chicago over Milwaukee 8-4. There's the Toronto-Kansas City score, the Yankee-Boston score. Texas and Baltimore got rained out today, and Detroit beat Cleveland by a score of 4-0. In that tight National League East race, both leaders lost today. They won yesterday, they lost today. The Mets lost to the Pirates today 5-0, thanks to Bill Madlock, who took the ball downtown a couple times. This one way up into the seats there. And then another one, 2 by Madlock today, accounting for most of the runs by the Pirates. 2 home runs for Billy Madlock. Final again, Mets 0 and Pirates 5. This is Pete Rose. They played, the Cincinnati Reds did, in Houston tonight. And this single gives him another hit on his total. He had 2 tonight. He is 15 behind Ty Cobb's mark of 4,191. So Pete's on the trail of Ty Cobb's record. Here's the scores. Now, Pittsburgh over New York. It was Montreal over St. Louis 6-5. The Phillies eating up Chicago's makeshift pitching staff. They beat the Cubs today. Giants beat the Dodgers second day in a row. Atlanta and San Diego split their doubleheader. Dale Murphy had his 33rd homer in the second game. Here's the Cincinnati-Houston score, 8-3. And tonight in the Northwest League, it was Everett 5, Medford 3, and a preseason football game today. It was the Redskins 14, and the L.A. Raiders, they only had 9. We switched to car racing. Evergreen Speedway in Monroe was the place to be today if you were a NASCAR fan. The Winston NASCAR 500, we're going racing, and the guy that's going to pull in the lead there in that 07 car, that's the 711 car, his name is Derek Cope. He wins the race. He's from Puyallup, followed by Herschel McGriff. Herschel is 57 years old. He lost it by 2 car lengths to Cope, who averaged 73.9 miles an hour today. Bill Elliott, the favorite, dropped out with car problems on the 121st lap. He had engine problems. Ruben Garcia was third. Portland's Don Waterman fourth. There were many, many accidents today. 13 caution flags. But there goes the winner, Derek Cope. 7,000 people on hand out at Evergreen Speedway in Monroe. We've got golf also. Amy Alcott won the World Championship of Women's Golf this afternoon in the second sudden death hole over Patty Sheehan. Take a look. Some great shots. This is the first hole to sudden death. Alcott sinks a birdie putt. So she's ahead, but Sheehan says, I can match that. This also a birdie on the 16th right there. Second sudden death hole. This is the drive that gives Alcott the tournament. This is a par 3, 172-yard hole. Look where the ball goes, right up by the cup. And that sets Alcott up for the winning putt and a nice payday, which gives her $248,000 for the year. On the PGA circuit, this guy you will see putt is Ken Green, and watch him dunk this one in. Ken wins the PGA stop in Michigan. Wayne Grady is second. That's his sister there. Ken Green won about $80,000 in that tournament. He says he's going to spend it all on himself and have a good time. I like that attitude. Montreal tennis stop was won easily today by John McEnroe over Yvonne Lendl, but it was Lendl and not McEnroe who took it out on the officials. Listen.
These are right under your nose. What do you mean? What are you doing here? See the ball! What are you doing here, then?
I'm not playing under this guy anymore. I'm sorry, he made 4 mistakes, all against me. I would like him changed. Please.
Second serve into the forehand side.
There you have it. So it's Yvonne Lendl losing to John McEnroe. At least he said, please. I'd like the guy replaced. Please, I will give him that. How do you feel about that? Yakking at the umpire on the tennis court.
Well, it's something that started recently. I mean, it started with Jimmy Connors, who now seems like a gentleman on the court compared to what's come afterwards.
Those guys are that way in a press conference.
And it's really rude and obstreperous, but, I mean, you heard the crowd reaction. They love it. We report it. And it's brought a lot of people to
Does that make it right? I don't like it.
No, it's not, but it really, it brings a lot of people to the sport.
And they were clapping.
And that's money.
Clapping for him,
So, anyway.
I don't like it.
Okay.
Reverse it.
Then don't do it anymore.
I did it for you because you like it.
Coming up, a change in the weather. Details next. And then we'll show you why some people gave blood in New Jersey.
I was born in the USA. I was born in the USA.
1 in 6 alcoholics seeks medical care. Because at your convenient Czech Medical Center, the doctor is in 7 days a week. And now you don't need a bunch of cash. All you need is one of these, and Czech will bill them direct. Thanks to Czech, seeing your family doctor really is painless. Czech Medical Centers, when and where you need us.
When your eyes don't make enough tears, enough natural moisture to relieve itching, burning, dry, irritated eyes, you may have moisture-poor eyes. Try new Bausch & Lomb Moisture Drops for the eyes. The special moisturizing formula speeds relief to your irritated eyes, gives lasting protection against smoke, dust, pollution. Unlike the leading brand of eye drops, use Moisture Drops as often as needed. Soothe moisture-poor eyes with unlimited use Moisture Drops. New from Bausch & Lomb, first choice of eye care professionals.
Come on, we haven't much time.
We'll make it, He-Man. There it is, in that rock.
Stand back.
It's here, only at Burger King. A He-Man Cup for your kids. Treat them to a different He-Man comic strip cup every week.
Excellent.
4 cups to collect and play with. To get one, just buy the Burger King meal pack. A hamburger, a cheeseburger, regular fries, and a soft drink.
Come and get me.
Burger King.
It's here, the time smart folks wait for all year. It's closeout time at your Seattle Metro Better Buick dealers. We've got to sell every new 85 Buick we have to make room for the 86 models, so you can have the car you'd really rather have at a very affordable price. Better cars, better prices, and a great time to buy right now at your nearby Better Buick dealer. Gilchrist, Valley, Warren Westland, Hewley, Mallory, Weiland Cornforth, Clyde Rebord, and Michaels. The Seahawks 85, an inside look, a Cairo Community Special. Tonight at 10, only on Cairo TV.
Gary Spinnell on the ball tonight, baseball, with the ball.
As we went to the break there, you saw Kurt Warner run, and he's running very well, which is always a positive sign. Nice to have Kurt Warner back. But let's talk Mariners. Nice segue into this. Mariners, in desperate need of some offense, are getting it so far. They play in Baltimore, second inning right now. It is Seattle 2. They're still batting, and Baltimore nothing. Both American League leaders, by the way, won today. Toronto beat the White Sox 6-2, while the Yankees, on this Mike Pagliarulo home run, began a big splurge of runs today and come on and beat California, who beat them yesterday by a score of 10-4. Ron Hassey also hit his 10th home run. Hassey, one of the great players the Yankees picked up in the offseason that have really helped them. All right, here's the Mariner. And Baltimore scored the game 2-0 in the second for Seattle. Toronto 6-2 over Chicago. The only other game complete today, I gave you the score. Yankees over California 10-4. National League, one game is complete. It was San Francisco beating the Mets by a score of 3-2. Well, we switch back to football. It was the 49ers and the Seahawks last night in exhibition football. A good game with turnovers ruining a good effort by both the Seattle defense and offense. The final 49ers 23-21 for the Seahawks, and the Niners jump on the board first, 7-0 right here. Roger Craig, 3 yards off the pass from Matt Cavanaugh. As I said, 7-0. Now, Dave Craig had a great night. Watch this pass, just as nice as you can throw it, to Darrell Turner in the end zone. It's 7-0. Now, second quarter, this time Craig hits Byron Bones Walker, and it's 13-10 after a Ray Wersching field goal. Here's where I thought the Hawks would put it away. Another pass right on the money from Craig to Turner makes it 20-10. But after Ray Wersching comes in and kicks this field goal right here, the Niners start to close in, 20-13. Now we got a couple of turnovers, and that results in a quick touchdown by the Niners right here. Matt Cavanaugh hits John Frank, and it's 21-19. Then, with seconds left on the clock, Wersching does it again and beats the Hawks 23-21. Well, after the game, a guy who just joined camp, Dave Brown, talked about the Seahawks performance.
Wersching field goal.
I thought we played pretty well. You know, we didn't play 60 minutes of football. You know, we got a few turnovers here and there. But as a football team, you know, we're playing together. You know, offense, defense, and special teams. You know, and if we're going to make mistakes and lose games, you know, now's the time to do it. So just really looking forward to this regular season game and the regular season coming up.
Well, just before Seattle's third touchdown last night, tackle Bob Kreider injured his knee and will be out for an undetermined amount of time. Here's what happened. You will see Kreider go down. Watch the right side of your screen. as the handoff goes to the left. Watch here. Kreider backing up there right side with number 72. Watch him get caught underneath the defensive player right here. He talked about his injury after the game.
I hooked the guy. Next thing you know, I had somebody roll up on my leg, and foot got caught in the turf. I couldn't get it out quick enough, and, you know, he bent me over backwards. But my leg's stable, and I think I'm going to be all right. Feels good. Hurts a lot. They say it's a good sign.
Good sign if it hurts a lot, I guess. Well, Bob Kreider should be out for a few weeks, but not much more than that. Winners at the U.S. Open today include quite a list. John McEnroe, Yannick Noah, Mats Wilander, Boris Becker, and Yvonne Lendl. One of the best matches of the day, this one you're about to see, and watch the point. Tomáš Schmidt of Czechoslovakia beats Jimmy Arias of Buffalo. Watch these guys bang it back and forth. Great point today in the Schmidt-Arias match right here. Just kind of keep your eye on the ball as it bounces back and forth here, folks. This is some entertaining tennis match. You say it all on CBS this weekend. And here we go to match point right now with Arias and Schmidt. And by the way, on the ladies' side today, top seeds Martina Navratilova, Chris Evert-Lloyd, Wendy Turnbull, Helena Suková, and Carling Bassett were all winners. Off the field, big doings today. The Pittsburgh Pirates have traded third baseman Bill Madlock to the L.A. Dodgers. That should really help the Dodgers in their late season pennant chase. Big news for the Dolphins today. Their quarterback, Danny Marino, has ended his holdout, and he'll report to camp. And technicalities have once again held up the trade in the NBA of Bill Walton from the Clippers to Boston, which would send Cedric, call me Cornbread Maxwell, from Boston to the Clippers. And don't forget, we've got football on tonight. Football, as Chuck Knox says. Houston and Dallas tonight, 6 o'clock. The bragging rights of Texas on the line.
Whoever wins, they'll brag.
They'll be bragging. They'll be bragging if they lose down there, I'll tell you.
Thanks a lot, Gary.
If you think a Kiwi's an odd bird from New Zealand, you'd be right, mate.
It's a little bit shy, sometimes bold. It'll warm your heart, and you'll be sold when you see a Kiwi smile. New Zealand smile.
Catch a Kiwi smile from just $849 round trip, flying the foreign airline voted the world's best, Air New Zealand.
Save on the things you need to do the job right during the month-long sale at your Fred Meyer Home Improvement and Garden Center. You can get a great buy on top-quality Glidden paints. There are 7 kinds on sale, like spread house paint for $10.97 a gallon, spread satin for $8.49, and spread latex semi-gloss enamel for $11.49. Cover old paint or stain with Endurance House Plus 2 for $9.47 a gallon. Fred Meyer is your complete paint store, so hurry in today and save during the month-long sale at your Fred Meyer Home Improvement and Garden Center.
Heath introduces a new soft and crunchy candy bar. It's soft.
It's crunchy.
Toffee tidbits covered with real milk chocolate. It's Heath's new soft and crunchy.
For a midday snack, you can't beat a Heath.
Heath's new soft and crunchy.
You can't beat a Heath.
For delicious ice cream, you can't beat a Heath.
We mixed Heath's crunchy toffee tidbits into rich, creamy ice cream. Toffee tidbits go into the chocolate, too.
No other ice cream tastes like it. You can't beat a Heath.
Introducing Plaisir, the everyday French cheese. With all natural Plaisir, you can work wonders every day. Wonderful Sunday omelets. Wonderful Monday casseroles. Wonderful Tuesday Plaisir burgers. Wonderful Wednesday salads. And you don't have to cut corners to enjoy Plaisir anytime. In 4 wonderful flavors, Plaisir, the everyday French cheese.
Tell your friends, September 16th is the day your afternoons start looking better than ever on America.
Premieres September 16th at 3 on Cairo TV.
Gary's got something special for us tonight, a hole-in-one.
In baseball.
In baseball.
Yeah. We showed it to you on the early show. A lot of fun. We'll show it to you again. But first, let's talk about the Mariners, who came up with 16 hits, including a 5-for-6 day for Jack Fricani, the second baseman. Another good pitching performance by Matt Young. Mariners pound on Baltimore 10-2, including an Alvin Davis 3-run homer. But this is not Alvin, it's ace Al Cowens ripping one up the middle. That will score a sliding Jack Fricani. He's back up on his feet. It's 1-0 M's. Watch here. Now it's Jimmy Presley hitting a sacrifice fly. Lee Lacy's got the ball. Going to be a close play at the plate. The throw coming in. This is the second run of the game as Phil slides under Rick Dempsey right there. 2-0. In the fourth, boom, long drive out of the ball yard. by Alvin Davis over that right center field wall. Lee Lacy watches it go out. It's 5-1 M's as there were 3 on. Here's the hole-in-one. Watch Dave Henderson try to lay a bunt down. It goes toward the line, and watch it just kind of settle right into the hole. That's a fair ball. Dave's on. He steals second base, and then Jack Percani comes up, and he rips one up the middle. That's another one of his hits today, and Hendu scores run number 6. Then it's Bradley with a single right here. He nails that ball right on it through the shortstop and third baseman, and the Mariners pick up another one right here as Domingo Ramos slides under Al Pardo's tag there. The Mariners score 3 more runs and go on to a 10-2 win over Baltimore. They play bright and early tomorrow in Yankee Stadium. And speaking of the Yankees, they picked up another game on the Toronto Blue Jays. The Jays lost. The Yankees won today. And when we take a look at the highlights right here, this is Harold Baines ripping one out of the yard. Going, gone. The Sox go on and beat Toronto by a score of 4-1. You will never see a longer home run. At least I haven't this year. Look where this ball goes, way, way up into the deck there. That is Ron Kittle. That is not Ron Kittle. That's Billy Martin. Billy paid the money and got to see Don Mattingly bring his Yankees back today from a 3-0 deficit to California. Look at these two guys fight over the ball. Hang on now, you guys, because here's another one. Here's Mattingly's second home run of the day. Right here, almost the same spot, a little deeper. The Yankees rally back from 3 down and win it over California today by a 5-3 count. I'm going to check all the scores here. There's the Mariners score. It was the Cubs over Toronto. There's the Yankees score. The Angels, by the way, maintain their 2.5-game lead because the Rangers sweep the series from Kansas City. Today's win 5-3. Chet Lemon, 2 home runs in Detroit's pounding of Oakland. It was Boston beating Minnesota 10-3, and Milwaukee beat Cleveland 11-4. Over the National League, Mets win today. So do the Cards, as you will see. There's the 4-3 win over San Francisco by the Mets. They trail by 2 in the NL East. The Dodgers, losers today to the Phillies. Here comes the Cards score, 5-0 over Houston. Chicago pounded on Atlanta 15-2. Pittsburgh beaten by Cincinnati 3-2. 2 more hits for Pete Rose. All he needs now is 6 more, and he breaks Ty Cobb's record. It was San Diego 5 and Montreal 1. The Padres trail by 6 in the National League West. Well, all the top seeds continue to roll up victories today at the U.S. Open. Roll up victories and top seeds win might be an understatement. Look at this. Italy's Sandra Cecchini is whipped by Martina Navratilova in a time of 37 minutes. It wasn't close, 6-0, 6-1. On the men's side, Horacio de la Peña beaten by Ivan Lendl, 6-1, 6-1, and 6-3. So a couple of the top seeds really destroyed, a couple of unknowns. Watch this one. Jimmy Connors, we showed this earlier. This is too good. Thierry Toulon is beaten by Connors here. Watch this over-the-shoulder shot by Connors with some power. Thierry gets it back, but right down the line the ball goes. Jimmy says, yeah, like that kind of action. Come right back for more. This time Connors is on this side of the net. Watch this little exchange here. Connors gets him up close and will pound the ball at him, and Toulon has to go, oops, almost lost his head on that one. So Jimmy Connors does advance to the next round, the 4th round. Other seeds today that advance include Yannick Noah, Pam Shriver, Zina Garrison, and Manuela Maliva. It was a great day for Bill Elliott. He picked up a cool $1 million in bonus today, bonus money for winning 3 out of 4 of the major events of the season. But he didn't do it without problems. This is Dale Earnhardt, who was leading the race today. But watch Bill Elliott. Has to do a little nifty drive and comes right by, just barely gets by Dale Earnhardt. Later, Cale Yarborough is leading, and watch here. He blows a power steering line, and Elliott has to take the infield, but does get around Yarborough, and he goes on a cruising from then on to his way to the South Carolina 500. Boy, they were celebrating Earnhardt's win, or Elliott's win right here. $1 million check. There you see it. $1 million in bonus money. That brings him up to $1.8 million. $1.8 million for the year. Mario Andretti set a record last year. He had only half of that. One other race today. This is horse racing, and it marked the return out at Long Acres of Gary Stevens. Stevens, who was last year's riding champion, has done very well away from Long Acres this year, and he came back and rode in his own little horse race today, the Gary Stevens Classic. Here you see him riding Shuttle Trip to just a nose win over Hydrostatic. All those tennis names and then blow Hydrostatic. Gary Stevens is the winner today out of Long Acres of the race. Golf, by the way, Joey Sindelar won the PGA stop in Endicott, New York. Sindelar hit a hole-in-one on the 14th hole. Looked all over for you to try to find you this. I don't think it was on television anywhere, so we can't find the hole-in-one. Mike Reed, by the way, finished second. And before we go tonight, Issaquah's Tom Price won the Canadian Ultra Triathlon, swimming 2.6 miles, running 26.2 miles, and biking 112 miles in a time 10 hours, 3 minutes, and 40 seconds. I just wonder if you have to take your lunch on these kind of deals. I mean, 10 hours.
I think I'd lose my lunch trying to do that.
There's a lot of lunches. My golly. 10 hours and 3 minutes and 40 seconds, 26.2 miles.
You stretched it over 10 days, and I could handle it.
Golly, yeah, maybe 10 years to me. I get tired walking up the stairs.
Bob, for a long time, Wayne Cody's here to bring us up to date on everything that's happened with the Seahawks today.
Well, for 7.5 years, John, number 10 led the Seattle Seahawks Ball Club. We all know him. Jimmy Zorn, he sat right here at our counter many different times. The Hawks had to let 5 players go today to get down to their roster above 45 by tomorrow, and Jim Zorn is probably one of the most noted players in the league that was cut today. Seahawk hero, number 10. He is going into his 10th year with the Hawks, played 9 years, 126 games, started 100 of those games. Gary Spinnell has more on the cut of number 10.
You know what's really hard about the whole thing is having people that you've worked with for so long come up and say, boy, we've really appreciated all your effort and all that we've got to do together and all that kind of stuff. That's what makes the tears come to your eyes and makes you want to just shake your head.
When the decision was made by the league to trim team rosters from 49 to 45, it was a given that some big names would be lost in the shuffle. In Seattle today, the name is 9-year quarterback Jim Zorn, cut with 4 others. In a press conference full of many smiles and a positive outlook by Zorn and his wife Joy, the longtime Seattle favorite talked to some of the frustrations that have surrounded him the past couple of years.
Well, you never prepared for it. I mean, I don't have a statement prepared, and oh yeah, it's something I wrote up a couple of years ago. But it's been rather unsettling for the last couple of years, not knowing if I would be traded. I mean, who knew? Nobody would know. So here it is. You're all here. We're all gathered together here.
It was Zorn's feeling that Coach Knox cut him because of his inability to guide the team in case Dave Craig would go down with an injury. Craig says the departure of Zorn says a lot for the talent on the current Hawks roster.
I don't think it says anything bad about us at all. If we have to get rid of players that are of the caliber of a Jim Zorn, Reggie McKenzie, Chuck Butler, and everybody else that got cut or released, that says a lot for the people that made it on this team.
Although it is not likely for the next 24 hours or so, the Seahawks can change their minds on Zorn and pull him back off the waiver list. After that, he can be claimed by other NFL clubs. Whatever the frustrations over the past few seasons, Zorn still wants to be part of the game.
I feel like I'm, an A-OK dude, and my worth doesn't depend upon another person's opinion, yet I'm not done playing, and I still feel like...
Anniversary celebrations this month. Each mall will present the Newlywed Game with Bob Eubanks live. Friday, September 20th at 7:30 p.m. at Factoria Square. Saturday, September 21st at 4 p.m. at Aurora Village Mall. And Sunday, September 22nd at 2 p.m. at Renton Center Mall. The anniversary celebration at Factoria Square, Aurora Village, and Renton Center Malls.
We've got what you need.
Dodge has the best of the big 3. 7.5 financing or $400 back on Omni, Charger, and Aries K. 7.5 or $500 on full-size pickups. 7.5 or $1,500 on Daytona Turbo Z and Lancer ES. Plus 5-year or 50,000-mile protection. It's a revolutionary deal from Dodge, and it's the best of the big 3.
Get 7.5% financing at your Puget Sound Dodge dealers now.
Very hot. Definitely hot. Dempsey and Makepeace.
Special premiere movie September 14th at 9 on Cairo TV.
You probably know that early detection and prompt treatment are key factors in curing colorectal cancer. What you may not know is that there's more than one test to detect such cancer. Cairo is offering some free information to help you learn more about colorectal cancer and the ways to treat it. Send us a self-addressed stamped envelope to Cairo TV, 2807 3rd Avenue, Seattle 98121. Get the facts on colorectal cancer. Please write to us.
Stunning has to be the word for today's women's final in the U.S. Open, because I was watching that and I was really stunned when Martina Navratilova was down.
You said it.
5-love in the first set. She walked out there and just
then came
trampled.
back and then fell off again.
It was amazing match.
Good match. But this is one of those days before we get to tennis where I'll update you on what our teams are doing in progress. Huskies and Oklahoma State are at halftime right now. The Huskies are on top 17-10. The Mariners lead the Tigers 8-5, and that game is in the 6th inning. We'll have highlights tonight at 11 o'clock. As we have been mentioning, one major upset today at the U.S. Open Tennis Tournament. Hannah Mandlikova, who beat Chris Evert Lloyd yesterday, did the same to Martina Navratilova today, 7-6, 1-6, and 7-6. Watch here, late in the match, Hannah beats Martina to her left as she gets the ball across the net right there. Then Martina really starts to throw some frustration on this one. Watch here. She hits into the net as she tries the backhand, and the frustration begins to show late in the match. I said frustration. It might be a little bit more than that. Next point, Martina hits long, and this is where the frustration really starts to show on Navratilova. Watch her with the racket. Hits the ground right there. There you see the numbers right there. Now, watch the reaction by Hannah on the other side. Yeah. Think I got this one in hand. Then, almost without a fight, here comes match point. Nowhere close is Martina, and the reactions of this one pretty much tell the story. There's Hannah on the court, throws the racket. Look out, somebody's going to hit somebody in the back of the head. And Martina, it was just almost speechless after the match. A great match today, 7-6, 1-6, and 7-6. Hannah Mandlikova, there you see her. And her reactions pretty much tell the story over Martina Navratilova today. A major, major upset. Now, on the men's side, John McEnroe and Yvonne Lendl beat Mats Wilander and Jimmy Connors, respectively. McEnroe and Lendl will meet for the men's title. That comes up tomorrow. We'll certainly have highlights of those two matches later on the show at 11, and the highlights of the championship match tomorrow. Well, the college football season is in full swing, and so is Auburn's Bo Jackson, who ran for 290 yards and 4 TDs today as Auburn rolled over Southwest Louisiana 49-7. Watch this touchdown run. It nets 47 yards by Jackson. He gets good blocking, but it almost was like he didn't need it today. This one, 47 yards, and the TD makes it 14-0. The next one, a beauty. More nice blocking right there. Look at the blockers come through. 76 yards. Right here, Jackson rolled up 181 yards in the first quarter in that game. His team wins it by a score of 49-7. And what a day for the Cougars. If you haven't heard, the WSU Cougars trailing 19-0 against California. The Cougars score 20 points in the final 10 minutes and win the game 20-19. 2 touchdown passes by Mark Rippon did it, and a touchdown run by Reuben Mays. Once again, the Cougs beat Cal by a score of 20-19. Let's check a couple of the college scores today as the top 20. There's the Auburn score I gave you. The SMU Texas El Paso game is in progress. Florida beat Miami of Florida today. Southern Cal is 10 points better than Illinois. The BYU-UCLA game is in progress. Penn State over Maryland 20-18, and Nebraska beat Florida State 17-13. Baseball today, the Dodgers beat the Mets 7-6, but one of those base brawls broke out today. Watch this. Mariano Duncan takes a swing. He ain't even close on this one. Watch here. He looks out at Ed Lynch, and Ed Lynch is giving him some real static right here. Watch Lynch, and please don't read lips here. Now, Lynch says, come on out here. If you want to fight me, do it. Camera follows it nicely. Here comes Mariano. I don't think he really wanted to fight Lynch, but how can you let your teammates down? Everybody out onto the field right here. As I said, the Dodgers win the game 7-6 over the Mets, and guess what? Not a soul got hurt in the game. The Mariners now are leading 9-5. Jimmy Presley's homered in the 7th inning, so the game in the 7th with the M's ahead 9-5. Here's the other scores we have complete today. Minnesota 6, Toronto 3, and Cleveland has been beaten twice today by Boston, 11-9 and 7-4. In the National League, there you see the Dodgers score. Pete Rose, when hitless today, struck out twice as Chicago beat Cincy 9-7, Montreal over the Giants 7-1, and the Phillies down San Diego 2-0. Pay and Pack team is playing in an Amateur Softball Association championship. They beat Pueblo, Colorado today 5-0. Jimmy Moore is 49-5. He picked up the win, 49-5 of the year. And John Mahaffey and George Burns share the lead after a couple of rounds of the PGA stop in Massachusetts. Jimmy Moore is 49-5.
Any pitcher would probably settle for that, don't you think?
Yeah, I would guess. They play again on Monday against Ashland, Ohio. That's on Monday, and if they got to win 6 straight, if they do, they win.
Seattle 98121. Get the facts on colorectal cancer. Please write to us.
Well, I can attest to the fact there's a lot of interest in this Husky game. We're taking calls on the news set during the news of people who want to know what the Husky score was.
Turn on the TV. I guess we don't have to tell that to the folks who are watching.
This one lady says, I'm nowhere near a television set. Can you please tell me what the Husky score was?
Let's do that.
Okay.
All right. Huskies beaten by a pretty good football team, as I said before we went into the break. Oklahoma State beat the Dogs tonight 31-17 as the Huskies played much of the game without 3 starters, and they didn't score a point in the second half. Tough to win a ball game when you do that. Take a look at the highlights. First quarter, Huskies score quickly. Hugh Millen, number 12, back to pass. He's got Lonzel Hill perfectly in the end zone, and the Huskies lead it 7-0. Nice going, Mo Hill. Cowboys come right back. Thurman Thomas can run. He did. 237 yards tonight. He takes off. That's a 35-yarder. Tice score at 7-all. Big factor into the game. Watch Rick Fenny here. His ankle twisted right there. He's out of the game for the rest of the game. It happened in the first quarter. A big factor, I think, tonight in the loss. Second quarter, after a Jeff Jagger field goal, Hugh Millen will hit Hill again, and the Huskies lead 17-10. And the merry-go-round, look at this celebration, is on right there. Third quarter, big play coming. Watch David Toy get the ball on the handoff from Millen right here. Thunder coming from Oklahoma State, and the recovery right there in the end zone. And that is a touchdown by Mike Hudson, and it's a 17 all-time. We're into the fourth quarter. Nice play. Thomas gets the handoff, throws it into the end zone, and there's Bobby Riley with a catch, and the Cowboys lead 24-17. And here is the nail in the coffin as Millen will be intercepted right here by Mark Moore, number 44. He's gone for the final score of the game. 31-17 is the final, and after the game, Don James had these comments.
We just all have to get better. If we can use it and grow with it. And we're playing a lot of young guys. Joe Kelly goes out, and Rick Finney goes out, and Soledad goes out. You know, we don't have that much depth as it is. We're playing a lot of young kids.
It doesn't really, knock us out of any chances of, going, Pac-10 title, since this was a, Big 18 we played. It may have a little, national title or what have you, but, we still have 10 games to go.
As Mo Hill said, a lot of time to go yet, and a lot of time for the Huskies to get back on the winning track. And speaking of winning track today, the Cougars, trailing 19-0 against California, came back, scored 20 points in the final 10 minutes, and won the game with the Cal Bears today, 20-19. Linda's over here going, really? That many points in that little time? That's right. Couple touchdown passes from Mark Rippon, and a touchdown run by Reuben Mays did the trick for the Cougs, 20-19 over the Cal Bears. Well, Bo Jackson's Auburn team rambled to a huge score today as he rambled for 290 yards and 4 touchdowns as Auburn rolled over Southwest Louisiana 49-7. This touchdown run nets Jackson, nice blocking here, 47 yards, and gives Auburn a 14-0 score. This is one of the guys who may get the Heisman this year. Next one, a beautiful
Official
run.
GTE Yellow Pages. They see it all year long.
Gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. That being so stated, on to the job at hand. Please take note. Listen carefully. To begin,
every one of these executives flew to this important business meeting on a different airline, sampling various meals